10 days into the war, Iran has finally elected its new supreme leader. Mojtaba Khamenei will now be leading the country. He is the second son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and he's been trusted to take over, chosen by the Assembly of Experts amid US and Israeli bombardment. Mojtaba, until yesterday, was a mid-ranking cleric but has worked very, very closely with the Iran Revolutionary Guard, which is what makes one wonder just how long will he last? Remember, America had already said that any new leader of Iran must have their sanction, must be validated by them before everything else. But while America has already put a target seemingly on the back of Mojtaba Khamenei, he did get some support. Some support from within his country and then, of course, from Russian President Vladimir Putin. He was one of the first few to congratulate the new supreme leader. Trump has already expressed his desire to play an active role. Now what remains to be seen is what next? What happens in Iran next? Is Mojtaba Khamenei now going to be the next target in the crosshairs of America, or could he really lead his country into some kind of resolution to this war? All right, joining us for more on this, we have Professor Haidar. Haidar is joining us live from Tehran. Thanks very much, sir, for speaking to us. He's a political analyst from within Tehran. Why the choice of Mojtaba Khamenei? Can you explain to our viewers why did your country think at this point that he is best suited to lead Iran?
Okay, look, I'll tell you, there were many candidates, not only Mojtaba, but what people, say, why Mojtaba? We have to go back to, to the legal procedures according to the Iranian constitution. And in a situation like that, when a vacuum happened for a reason or another, usually the National Security Council, which is composed of three persons, including the president, will run the country during the period where there is no supreme leader or no leader, according to the constitution. And for a certain period, you have the Council of Experts, which is composed, of 86 experts from the country who are really elected by people for 8 years. They must, meet at a certain time within a period of time, and then they vote. Or there is a procedure of voting on the candidates for who will really, take over after the Khamenei. What happened is now, there were many candidates, of course, but the Supreme, the Council, they have decided that based on voting, that Mojtaba, the son of Khamenei, to be the supreme leader. So this is as a result of election or chosen by this council, which really, they select the supreme leader. Because, the system in Iran, it is run, it's not only by one institution, it's run by 8 institutions. You have the presidency, you have the supreme leader, department, and then you have the Assembly of Experts, you have the parliament, you have the presidency, you have the judiciary, and you have the national security and intelligence. So it's not one institution. So this institution is only, its main job is to discuss very important issues and report to the supreme leader, and at the same time, elect the supreme leader. And that's why the supreme leader was elected by this institution.
But given the stand that the United States has taken so far vis-a-vis the next leader of Iran, do you think that now Mojtaba Khamenei is going to be directly in the crosshairs of the United States?
Right, look, I'm surprised, when a country's affair is run, by the country, why another country wanted to interfere or put certain criteria of how we choose this or how we choose that. So when there are democratic procedure, I would say, when there is election process, it doesn't matter whether you agree with the type of election or you don't, or the procedures. Why another country want to put its own criteria and its own measures on how we select, for example, our leaders? Imagine that in the United States comes to India and say, okay, no, you cannot elect Modi, or you cannot elect X or Y or Z, or you go to Pakistan and say, no, you cannot choose Imran Khan, because Imran Khan has an idea. It may be, he doesn't like us, he doesn't like the Western, he doesn't like, the American interference. So why we have to accept the idea of the other country or the West or any values, in other countries, it has to be applied to my country or to your country or somebody else's country. Who gave the authority to the American or Trump himself to say this leader is accepted to me or not accepted to you? Would you, for example, Indians, go to America and say, no, you cannot choose Trump. We don't like Trump. This is really ridiculous. This is taking over the sovereignty of somebody's country is not right. And this is against the human rights and against the direction of what the people wanted to do in their country, whether they like this leader or that leader. If they choose the right leader, that will be good for them. If they choose the wrong one, they bear the consequences after that.
But Dr. Haidar,
and they will learn a lesson how to change it for the better.
But Dr. Haidar, throughout the United States had said very clearly that this is about regime change. The regime in Iran was a dictatorial one, and already the US president has said, and I quote, Khamenei's son is unacceptable to me. We want someone who will bring harmony and peace to Iran. If he doesn't get approval from us, he is not going to last very long. Isn't this a direct threat to the man you have just put in charge?
Look, okay, in the case of Iran at the moment, when it has a war, it's facing a war from two countries, and there are many, American bases in the region in almost about like 12 countries. I mean, what can you say to those people at the moment? This country has been under sanctions for about 42 years because somebody, in this world don't like the new regime, right? And there is about like 40,000 sanctions has been applied on this country. So what kind of pressure we're doing in this country? Of course, this will explode. They are preventing, this country from using its natural resources. They are preventing it from exporting, oil. They are preventing it, from using the international money system. They are assassinating their scientists. Imagine somebody comes to India and assassinate, your nuclear scientist, or like call people to revolt in the street, or give them ammunition, or tell them do this and do that. We are coming to topple up your government. We are coming to kill your leader. Now the Americans and the Israelis say we are continuing to assassinating any supreme leader. What kind of position, for the people to do? Of course, they're going to accept any leader coming and any leader who stands for his country against the aggression. I'm talking about from the Iranian point of view, but from international point of view, if this is allowed, even if we take it from international point of view, our Arab neighbors, or our countries, they have no legal right to let the American use their bases to bombard a neighboring country. This is Article 50 from the international law. It says that. It's not me. I didn't say that. It's the international law. Whether we respect the international law, which will apply to everyone, and we have a reference, for that, or then it's the jungle like, Trump wanted. One day he wants Venezuela. One day he wants Greenland. Another day he wants Mexico. Another day he wants Canada. Another day he wants Panama. So what kind of world we are running in? It seems, there is a new wave of colonialism is coming, but in a different form. And I am sure India and Pakistan, the whole Indian continent, has suffered this for hundreds of years. And your people have paid a very, very dear price because of this kind of forces who came. Now they think, they are like, they have a silk touch. But they are like steel. And they are coming to steal our national resources. This is what's happening now.
All right, but practically speaking, while you're absolutely right in saying that America does not have the right to challenge your sovereignty, but the fact of the matter is they have clearly said that we will not let someone we don't like survive. So how do you keep Mojtaba Khamenei safe? How do you ensure that they don't keep picking off anyone that you elect your leader? They will keep killing people that they do not approve of.
Look, at the moment, we cannot make any judgment on any decision making from the new supreme leader. But we can go back to his history, we go back to his characteristic, we go back to his activities, we go back to his character, his relationship, the network he has in the country, the position he took before. Maybe, but at the same time, we have to realize that now there is a heavy responsibility is laid on his shoulder. And it is not only his responsibility, it's a collective responsibility. I am sure, people cannot look at him at the moment as he looks at his father. His father had been running the country for almost 42 years. He had a big experience, but he is one of the generations of the revolution generations. But of course, now he is in a different position. He is in a different situation, and the process of decision making for a position like that is not like a process of a decision making in like an ordinary government position or a public position. Now there is a heavy responsibility. He has to consult a lot of counsels. He has to consult a lot of advisors, and maybe other counsel will support him in doing that. Let's see how when he gave the first speech, for example, and then we could start put like dots on letters or put the letters together and figure out what kind of direction this new leader is taking. Although there are many people are saying, look, he will follow the same direction of his father, and he has a good relationship with the Revolutionary Guard and a good relationship, with the security service in the country, which really give him like a good support, in his position. But the real test is how is he going to face this war and how it will end up later. Will he continue with this? Will he be open for a new foreign policy?
Okay.
Or there is no reason at the moment to engage of any negotiation, because there is no negotiation at the moment or any initiative at the moment, because the American and the Israeli won't stop. And this will complicate the situation more.
Final question to you. How long do you think that this war will continue as things stand? The fact that the US seems in no mood to wind it down. Do you think it will last for another month, a year? How long could we see this going on?
Well, looking at the speed, of the war and the targets, everybody tried to set up. Of course, for Iran, targets is to try to dismantle as much as of the American and Israeli apparatus. It doesn't matter, radars and not radars, something like that. The bases, American bases, they are doing that. This is the target of the Iranian, and to prevent any, for example, man invade, into the Iranian land. But what are the targets, for the American? Nobody can say what targets they are. What are the objective of this war? This is the question. They thought by killing the supreme leader, the country will collapse. There will be a chaos in the country, and then a protester will come to the street and attack like government department, public department, etc. And then the whole chaos, or the whole country will be in troubles. But this didn't happen. It didn't happen before, and it will not happen. So will the American administration change their strategy? It choose another target. What is the new target? What is the new objective of this war? Now they started to hit civilian institutions like petrochemical sites. They killed 160 girls in a primary school. Is this the target of the war? So this is the main question now. Why now, the target has finished or is changed? Now they are targeting civilian institution. They are targeting petrol station, refineries, stuff like that, or water desalination. What are they trying to do? They are trying to suffocate ordinary people they are calling them to revolt against their government. They are trying to suffocate every person there. And I don't think this will succeed. And it may lead Iran for different choices, and there might be like hidden surprises. You will never know.
All right, Dr. Muhammad Haidar, thank you very much for speaking to us here on NDTV. It is an extremely fluid time of what lies ahead, at least for the new supreme leader of Iran, with America already pinning a target on his back. We'll be keeping a close watch. Time for a quick break.